I'm delighted to be with you today and take part in this important conversation. The COVID 19 pandemic has brought devastating economic and human losses. We estimate more than 150 million people around the globe will be pushed into extreme poverty by the end of this year, and inequality too is worsening. Global food prices are rising by 20%, and this will hit the poor the hardest. Women and the vulnerable suffer disproportionately from the increases in joblessness, business contraction, and domestic care responsibilities. More than 1.6 billion students have been out of school, putting children and especially girls behind in their learning. We are providing our utmost support to developing economies as they respond to this crisis. And we are also working to help them recover in ways that will be sustainable, greener, and more conducive to prosperity for the long term. We were able to provide a record $156 billion in financing to our member countries over the 15 months period from March 2020 to June 2021, and our efforts are ongoing. The pandemic arrived at a time of unprecedented challenges due to climate change. Left unchecked, climate change will push an additional 130 million people into extreme poverty by 2030. The scale and cost of natural disasters could cause $18 billion a year in damages to infrastructure alone in developing economies. That number does not include massive damages to homes, roads, and transportation systems from the flooding in Europe or the US or from wildfires that we have seen globally in the recent months. The World Bank Group has therefore endorsed a new framework focused on green, resilient, and inclusive development, or GRID as we call it. In our efforts to support recovery, we keep a close eye on the interconnection between people, the planet, and the economy, and tackling sustainability, resilience, and inclusiveness in a simultaneous and systematic way. We ensure that our approach is balanced and tailored to meet the unique circumstances of the regions where it is applied through the needs and objectives set forth in each country's nationally determined contribution. We focus on lasting economic growth and reducing inequality while restoring momentum on the SDGs. We support countries in integrating climate considerations into their development strategies. We are helping them deploy climate finance in ways that achieve the greatest impact for mitigation and adaptation. In short, we are weaving climate into all of our decision making, not just for investments in sectors traditionally associated with climate, such as energy or transport, but also in sectors such as health, education, and fiscal policy. We believe climate touches everything, and we are showing how it can be integrated with all our development efforts. Let me give you an example. In Angola, we have a $250 million project to support girls' education. The project integrates climate financing to ensure that schools, when built, can serve as shelters from natural disasters. And the schools are weaving into their curriculum a focus on climate change mitigation and adaptation, as well as skills for the green economy. At the World Bank Group, we also aim to walk the talk. In the last few years, we have provided over half of the multilateral climate finance and over two-thirds of adaptation finance to developing economies. In 2021, we are planning on delivering even more. Our new climate change action plan dedicates an average of 35% of bank financing over the next 5 years to climate action, with at least half of this financing going towards adaptation and resilience efforts. To achieve this, we are adopting a whole of economy approach that focuses on policies to create the right enabling environment for climate action. We are thinking beyond just green projects. We are in fact supporting the greening of entire economies. We believe this holistic approach can be applied not just to organizations and economies. It can also be brought to capital markets to make sure that all capital flows align to our sustainable objectives. The World Bank has arrived at this conclusion based on our journey over the past 30 years and our experience in the capital markets. Let me share with you some of our experiences to support a further scale up of climate action. I will highlight three key points here. First, long before ESG criteria in investment decisions became mainstream, the World Bank was integrating environmental, social, and governance standards into all sustainable development projects that we finance. We were the first MDB to require project assessment for climate change through the lens of safeguards, which we introduced several decades ago. The safeguards have evolved into environmental and social framework that we now use for all our projects across a broad range of sectors. Second, we have mobilized significant resources for climate by leveraging capital markets. The World Bank brought innovation to the climate finance space by issuing the first green bond way back in 2008. This bond catalyzed investing for purpose and climate impact in the capital markets. It helped set the standard for the market, and today we continue to play a key role in developing the necessary market infrastructure through our work on the green bond principles and the harmonized framework for impact reporting. And specifically on climate adaptation and resilience, we are using our expertise and AAA status to issue catastrophe bonds, or CAT bonds for short, which are structured bonds that provide countries a tool to transfer disaster risk to the capital markets. As hurricanes, floods, wildfires, and droughts are intensifying, they are not only impacting lives and essential infrastructure, but they are also requiring governments to be prepared to deliver funding quickly in times of need. In the past 2 decades, the World Bank has transferred more than $5 billion worth of catastrophe risk across more than 20 countries. Because the risk is fully transferred to capital markets, the solution is highly scalable and could become even more important in the future. We have gone further towards the whole of market approach by harnessing the power of capital markets through sustainable development bonds. Last year alone, we issued around $80 billion of these sustainable bonds. The sustainability label reflects our global work in development and also the fact that all our bonds meet the strictest standards of sustainability, supporting positive impact around the globe. We are launching a campaign to highlight how we are integrating climate into all of our activities. Specifically, we are working to prepare sustainable development bond issuance that raise awareness for the World Bank's Climate Change Action Plan and our work on integrating climate into all our activities. This is similar to what we have done in the past with water and oceans, food loss and waste, and gender. We are also engaging with the global investor community to emphasize the importance of integrating climate into all their investment decisions. Third, we are working closely with our member countries to help them develop sustainable capital markets. Our efforts range from technical assistance on the design and implementation of countries' climate plans under the Paris Agreement to a range of policy advice and advisory work. Among others, we focus on sovereign issuance of sustainable and thematic bonds, the development of green taxonomies, and the green bond frameworks. Our advisory program facilitates the issuance of sovereign and sub-sovereign green bonds. For example, we assisted Egypt, Nigeria, Fiji, Philippines, and others with sovereign and corporate green bond issuances and advised Thailand and Malaysia's public debt management offices on the value proposition and the process for issuing sustainability bonds. We also work with policymakers, ministries of finance, regulators, central banks, and supervisors to develop sustainable financial systems. We advise on measures that public authorities can take to promote green finance and manage climate-related risks. In addition, our Reserve Advisory and Management Partnership, or RAM, manages funds and provides technical assistance to over 60 central banks. RAMP has been working with these central banks on the importance of responsible investing for several years now. Before I close, I would like to touch upon why it's critical to integrate climate with development. We are doing this for the people who are the most impacted by climate crisis. The world's poorest countries account for less than 1/10 of global greenhouse gas emissions. But they are the most vulnerable to impacts of climate change, such as droughts, flooding, and coastal erosion. These countries also have the lowest level of energy access, a weak manufacturing base, and often face food insecurity. And as we focus on the poorest countries and continue to support sectors critical for their economic growth, we need to identify ways to make their growth more sustainable, as well as ways in which they can adapt and become more resilient. Likewise, for some of our clients who are among the largest emitters, we need to help achieve a just transition away from coal. We need to find ways to reduce emissions from heavy industry and other sectors through new and innovative technologies. To take us forward and address what is already on our doorstep, We must act holistically as individuals, as organizations, and as a planet. Climate action must be integrated into everything we do. It cannot be relegated to investments in traditional climate sectors alone, or just addressed through one small corner of the capital markets. Climate needs to be tackled by everyone and at all levels of decision making. And for all of us, the task is urgent. Thank you.